Hello and welcome to Simple English Talk, a place where learning English meets deep reflection and real-life lessons. In today's video, we will explore 12 powerful rules that rich people follow to build wealth and create true freedom. But this is not just about money. It is about mindset, discipline, and the wisdom that shapes our daily choices. As you listen, you will practice your English, grow your vocabulary, and absorb lessons that can change the way you see success and life itself. Section 1. The foundation of money. When we speak about money, most people rush to think about wealth, numbers, and possessions. Yet money, in its essence, is not simply about paper bills or digital figures on a screen. It is about the choices we make, the habits we build, and the relationship we form with value itself. Before a person can ever learn to grow money, they must learn to respect it. This is the first foundation of wealth. To treat money not as something that comes and goes without thought, but as a tool, a resource, a servant that follows the hand of its master. Think of money as water. If you pour it carelessly, it spills and disappears into the ground. But if you guide it, if you collect it and direct it with purpose, that water can bring life to gardens, fields, and even entire communities. In the same way, money can slip through careless hands, or it can be shaped into a force of freedom and opportunity. Wealthy people understand this truth. They begin not with a mountain of gold, but with a seed of respect for every single coin, every single note. They know that if you cannot take care of a little, you will never take care of much. Many people believe that they will only start respecting money once they have more of it. They say, "When I earn more, I will save. When I become rich, I will be responsible." But this thinking is an illusion. Respect does not wait for abundance. Respect begins with the small. If you treat $10 with care, you will one day treat 10,000 with wisdom. If you waste a small amount without thought, you will likely waste a fortune just the same. The foundation of money is not wealth itself, but the relationship you build with it today, right now, even with the little you have. To the rich, money is never just about survival. It is about purpose. They do not ask only, "How can I spend this?" They ask, "How can I use this to serve my future? How can this dollar work for me instead of against me?" Every amount, no matter how small, is seen as a seed with potential. You can eat a seed today, or you can plant it and watch it grow into a tree tomorrow. The poor often eat the seed, because hunger for the moment is stronger than vision for the future. The rich plant the seed, knowing that time will multiply what discipline has preserved. Let us reflect for a moment on what respect for money truly means. It means not throwing it away on things that bring no lasting value. It means being aware of where your money goes, instead of living in a fog of unconscious spending. It means saving, even if the amount feels too small to matter. It means learning, because ignorance is the most expensive cost a person can carry. Respect is not about being miserly or fearful. It is not about clinging to every penny. It is about balance, using what you need today, while protecting what will sustain you tomorrow. Wealthy people are not different from you in their humanity. They are not born with a special gift that others lack. What sets them apart at the beginning is this awareness, this foundation. They decide early on that money will not be wasted. They decide that money will not control them through impulse and desire. They decide that money will serve them because they will direct it with wisdom. And these decisions, though simple, build a path that grows wider with each step. Imagine your own life as a house. Money is not the house itself, nor the decorations, nor the furniture. Money is the foundation beneath it all. Without a strong foundation, the walls may rise, but they will eventually crack and collapse. Wealthy people build their foundation before they build the house. They make sure that the ground is stable, that the soil can support the weight of their dreams. Without this preparation, even sudden riches can vanish. History is full of stories of people who gained fortunes overnight, through lottery wins or sudden success, only to lose it all within years because the foundation was missing. Respect for money was never learned, so the house fell apart. In contrast, there are countless stories of individuals who began with nothing, yet built wealth over time because their foundation was strong. They knew the value of saving. They understood the danger of wasting. They planted seeds and waited for them to grow. And because their respect for money was firm, their wealth became firm. It did not vanish in storms. It did not crumble under pressure. It stood because the foundation was solid. When you think about your own life, ask yourself, what is my foundation? Do I treat money as a tool or as something I cannot control? Do I waste the small amounts, thinking they do not matter? Or do I honor them, knowing that they are the building blocks of something greater? Every person has the power to change their relationship with money, no matter where they are starting from. Respect is a decision, and that decision can be made today. Money is not the enemy, nor is it the ultimate goal. It is a mirror of your discipline, your choices, your vision. The rich do not love money more than others. They respect it more. They see it as a reflection of their life's structure, and because their foundation is strong, their wealth continues to grow. The poor may see money as fleeting, something that controls them, but the rich see it as obedient, something that follows their will. The first foundation of wealth is not external, but internal. It is the calm understanding that money must be guided with care. It is the reflective awareness that what you do with a little is exactly what you will do with much. It is the discipline to honor even the smallest coin, knowing that every great fortune begins with respect for the smallest seed. Section 2. The Habits of Wealth. If you want to understand why some people move toward wealth while others remain trapped in struggle, you must look at habits. Habits are invisible patterns that shape visible results. They are repeated actions, performed daily, that seem small in the moment but grow into powerful forces over time. Rich people are not born with wealth. They create it through habits that protect their future. These habits act like invisible rails, guiding them steadily toward financial freedom. Without them, even the most talented or intelligent person can find money slipping through their fingers. The first habit is living below their means. Wealthy people do not spend everything they earn. They make sure that expenses remain lower than income. This may sound obvious, yet many ignore it. People buy cars they cannot afford, clothes they do not need, and luxuries that bring only short-term satisfaction. The wealthy understand that these choices are traps. Instead of chasing status, they protect their margin. They know that every extra dollar spent on appearances is one less dollar that could grow for the future. Living below your means does not mean living in misery. It means making intentional choices. It means distinguishing between what you want now and what will serve you later. The second habit is consistent saving. No matter how much they earn, the wealthy put aside a portion for the future. This rule does not wait until they feel ready or until they make a larger income. Saving happens first, before other spending, because it is not an afterthought, but a priority. Even if the amount is small, the act of saving creates discipline. Over time, this small habit builds a foundation of security. The poor often say, "I will save when I have more." But this day rarely comes. The wealthy save because they know that discipline multiplies, and every seed planted eventually grows. The third habit is investing early and often. Rich people understand that saving alone is not enough. Money sitting still loses value over time due to inflation. To build wealth, money must work, just as people work. Investing allows money to grow through businesses, stocks, real estate, or other vehicles. The wealthy do not fear investing, but they do not rush blindly into it either. They learn, they research, and they place their money where it has the chance to multiply. They understand the power of compounding, the principle that small gains, repeated over time, create enormous results. A person who begins investing a little in their 20s will likely end with more wealth than someone who waits until their 40s, even if the second person invests larger amounts. The habit of investing early makes the difference. The fourth habit is avoiding unnecessary debt. Debt can be a tool when used wisely, but most debt is a trap. Credit cards, loans for luxuries, or borrowing for things that lose value quickly become chains that hold people back. Wealthy people use debt strategically, often to acquire assets, not to buy things that disappear in value. They know that every dollar borrowed has a cost, and the price of debt is often freedom. Avoiding debt keeps their path clear and their money free to grow. The fifth habit is buying assets instead of liabilities. Assets are things that put money in your pocket. Investments, rental properties, businesses, or skills that generate income. Liabilities are things that take money away. Cars that lose value, gadgets that quickly become outdated, or luxury items purchased on impulse. The wealthy focus on collecting assets. They know that the more assets they own, the more money flows to them, even when they are not working. This habit allows them to build streams of income that continue while they sleep. The poor often spend on liabilities, thinking they are assets, but the rich know the difference. The sixth habit is tracking money carefully. Wealthy people know where their money goes. They do not live in a blur of expenses. They keep records, they review accounts, and they reflect on patterns. This habit gives them control. It allows them to see waste, to adjust quickly, and to make decisions based on clarity instead of guesswork. It is not about obsession, but awareness. Without tracking, money flows silently away. With tracking, money can be directed toward goals with precision. Another essential habit is continuous learning. Rich people read about finance, listen to experts, and surround themselves with knowledge. They do not assume they know everything. They understand that the world changes and opportunities evolve. Learning keeps them prepared, while ignorance blinds those who refuse to grow. They treat financial knowledge as a skill, just like any other, and they sharpen it daily. Together, these habits form a system. Each habit reinforces the others. Living below your means makes saving possible. Saving makes investing possible. Investing builds assets. Avoiding debt keeps freedom alive. Tracking ensures clarity. Learning fuels smarter decisions. The rich do not practice these habits once in a while. They practice them every day until the habits become natural. They do not depend on willpower because habits remove the need for constant decisions. If you wish to walk the same path, do not wait for a perfect moment. Begin with one habit today. Save even a small amount. Track your expenses for a week. Avoid one unnecessary purchase. Start reading a book on money. Small steps, repeated, will carry you farther than grand intentions abandoned tomorrow. Wealth is not built in a day, but it is built daily. Each habit is a brick. Each brick builds the structure of financial freedom. The poor may wait for miracles, but the rich create systems. They build their future with habits that cannot be shaken. Section 3. The mindset of riches. Money is important, but it is never the beginning. The true starting point of wealth is the mind. A person can receive a fortune, but if their thinking remains poor, that fortune will slip away like sand through open hands. Another person can begin with nothing, yet if their mind is rich, they will find opportunities, create value, and slowly build a future. This is why rich people say that mindset comes before money. The way you think determines the way you live. The first difference is in how rich people see problems. For many, a problem is a wall. It feels solid, blocking the path forward. They stop. They complain. They believe the wall cannot be moved. But the wealthy see problems as doors in disguise. Every challenge carries a lesson, and every obstacle hides an opportunity. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they ask, "What can I learn? How can I grow? Where is the opening here?" This single shift in perspective turns setbacks into stepping stones. What stops others becomes the very fuel that moves them forward. Rich people also cultivate the habit of thinking abundantly. Scarcity is the belief that there is not enough money, not enough chances, not enough space to succeed. Scarcity thinking breeds jealousy and fear. It whispers, "If someone else wins, you must lose." Abundance, on the other hand, says, "There is always a way. There is always more to create, more to give, more to build." With this mindset, wealthy people do not see another's success as a threat. They see it as proof that success is possible. They celebrate others because it reminds them that abundance is real. This is not just positive thinking. It is a foundation for action. A mind filled with abundance notices possibilities that scarcity thinking cannot see. Another part of the wealthy mindset is resilience. Every journey to wealth includes failure. A business collapses, an investment fails, an idea does not work. Most people, when faced with failure, give up. They take it as proof that they are not capable. Rich people see failure as feedback. They do not hide from it. They study it. They ask, "What went wrong? What can I change? How can I try again with more wisdom?" Because of this, each failure becomes a teacher, shaping them into stronger and more capable individuals. In time, the lessons of failure become the roots of success. Responsibility is another defining feature of the wealthy mindset. The poor mindset often blames circumstances, government, family, or luck. It says, "I am poor because of them." But the rich mindset says, "My life is my responsibility." This does not mean they control everything. Life is full of events outside of human control. Yet they understand that their response is always within their hands. By taking responsibility, they take back power. If you blame others, you hand your power away. If you take responsibility, you reclaim the ability to act and to change. Confidence is also essential. The rich believe in their capacity to grow, even when results are not yet visible. They invest in themselves. They learn skills. They take risks that others avoid. This confidence does not mean arrogance. It means trust. Trust that effort will bear fruit, that persistence will bring results, and that failure is not final. With confidence, they dare to step into spaces others fear. And in those spaces, they find opportunities hidden from the cautious. Generosity forms another part of the mindset of riches. It may seem strange to say that giving is part of becoming wealthy, but rich people understand that value flows in circles. When they give, whether in knowledge, kindness, or resources, they strengthen connections. They build trust. They create goodwill. This generosity often returns to them multiplied, though that is not the reason they give. They give because they understand that true wealth is not measured only by what you keep, but by what you share. A closed hand cannot receive. An open hand attracts abundance. This mindset is not limited to a chosen few. It is available to anyone willing to transform their thinking. To develop it, one must practice gratitude daily. Gratitude opens the mind to abundance. It says, "Even if I have little, I have enough to begin." From this place of contentment, growth feels natural. Another practice is to challenge limiting beliefs. When the voice inside says, "I cannot," Replace it with, I will try and I will learn. Over time, the inner voice of doubt becomes weaker, and the voice of possibility becomes stronger. When you look at wealthy people, remember that their riches began long before money appeared. It began in how they saw the world, how they saw themselves, and how they reacted to challenges. This mindset is like a compass, pointing always toward growth. Without it, even a fortune will be wasted. With it, even small beginnings can grow into great wealth. So if you desire wealth, begin not with your wallet, but with your thoughts. Ask yourself, do I see obstacles as walls or as doors? Do I believe in scarcity or in abundance? Do I blame others or do I take responsibility? Do I give up at failure or do I treat it as a teacher? Do I hide from generosity or do I live with an open hand? Each of these questions is a doorway to transformation. The more you align with the mindset of riches, the more wealth, freedom, and opportunity will find their way to you. Section 4. The power of patience and discipline. We live in a world that moves fast. Every message arrives in seconds. Every desire can be ordered online. Every image appears instantly on a glowing screen. In such a world, patience feels old-fashioned. People want results today, sometimes even within the same hour. But money does not obey impatience. True wealth does not grow in the rhythm of instant messages. It grows in the rhythm of seasons. Just as you cannot force a seed to bloom into a tree overnight, you cannot force money to multiply without time. Rich people know this truth. They honor patience as a companion, not as a burden. Patience is not weakness, it is strength. To wait without giving up requires more courage than to rush without thought. The wealthy understand that when you plant a seed, you must water it daily and protect it from storms, even before you see the first leaf. In the same way, they put their money into savings, investments, or businesses, and then allow time to do its quiet work. They do not demand instant results, because they know that growth is a process, not an event. Discipline walks hand in hand with patience. Discipline is the daily action that keeps the vision alive while waiting. Imagine someone who saves consistently, month after month, even when temptations whisper, "Spend it now." Imagine someone who continues investing through market ups and downs, resisting the fear of selling too soon. This is discipline. It is the act of choosing long-term strength over short-term pleasure. Without discipline, patience cannot survive. Without patience, discipline cannot bear fruit. Together, they are the twin pillars of wealth. The temptation of speed often destroys people's financial paths. Many chase schemes that promise quick riches. They buy into ideas that promise doubling money overnight. But just as a tree forced to grow too quickly becomes weak and hollow, quick wealth without foundation often collapses. You may see stories of sudden fortunes gained through luck or chance, but what is often hidden is how easily they disappear. Without patience, there is no root. Without discipline, there is no strength. The wealthy resist this temptation. They move steadily, step by step, knowing that slow growth is often stronger growth. There is also a quiet beauty in discipline. It teaches self-mastery. Each time you resist the urge to spend on what you do not need, you grow stronger. Each time you choose to save instead of waste, you shape your character. Each time you stay calm when others panic, you prove that you can guide your life instead of being guided by impulses. Wealthy people see discipline not as restriction, but as freedom. To them, saying no to an unnecessary purchase today means saying yes to greater freedom tomorrow. Patience also teaches trust. When you put money into an investment, you must let time unfold. You cannot dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing. You must allow it to remain hidden, silent, until the time comes for it to break the soil. This requires trust. Trust in the process, trust in the system, and trust in yourself. Rich people do not panic at the first sign of difficulty. They do not sell everything when markets fall. They trust that seasons change, that winter gives way to spring, and that what is planted with wisdom will eventually bear fruit. There are moments when patience feels heavy. Waiting is not easy. Watching others spend freely while you save can feel lonely. Seeing others chase pleasures while you build slowly can make your path feel dull. But discipline whispers that every sacrifice has meaning. Patience reminds you that what is unseen today will be seen tomorrow. Wealthy people carry this awareness in their hearts. They do not measure their worth by the noise of the present moment. They measure it by the quiet progress unfolding over years. Think of a craftsman building a piece of art. Each day, they carve a little, polish a little, refine a little. No single day looks dramatic, but after months of effort, the beauty of the finished work shines. This is how discipline works with money. Each small decision may feel ordinary. Each small act of saving or resisting may seem insignificant. But when years pass, the masterpiece of wealth reveals itself. Another gift of patience and discipline is stability. Life will bring storms, job losses, economic changes, unexpected expenses. Those without patience and discipline often panic, sell, or collapse under the pressure. But those who have trained their minds in calmness and discipline remain steady. Their wealth is not only financial, but emotional. They carry peace because they know they have built slowly, wisely, with a strong foundation. In the end, patience and discipline are not just financial skills. They are life skills. They shape the way you approach relationships, health, learning, and growth. They remind you that the best things in life, trust, wisdom, peace, and wealth, are not built in moments, but in years. The rich honor these values not because they are easy, but because they are powerful. The world may run fast, but wealth walks slowly. And those who learn to walk with it, steady, calm, disciplined, patient, find that money becomes a companion for life. It grows like a tree, rooted deep, standing strong, giving shade and fruit for generations. Section 5. Wealth and Freedom. At the heart of wealth lies something greater than money. Wealth, in its truest sense, is not about the numbers written in a bank account, nor about the possessions that fill a house. It is about freedom. Freedom to wake up each morning and decide how to spend your time. Freedom to work on what excites you instead of what exhausts you. Freedom to care for your family, to give generously, to live with dignity. Rich people understand this truth. For them, money is not the goal. Money is the key that unlocks freedom. Think for a moment about what freedom means. It is not luxury for the sake of luxury. It is not endless shopping or golden displays. Freedom is the ability to choose. Many people wake each day trapped in cycles they do not want, working in jobs they dislike, bound by debts they regret, controlled by bills that never end. Wealthy people use money to break these chains. They buy back their time. They create space for creativity, for travel, for building memories with the people they love. This is the highest form of wealth. One of the rules rich people follow is to use money as a servant, never as a master. If money becomes your master, it controls your choices. You spend your life chasing more, never satisfied, always restless. But if money becomes your servant, you control it. You send it to work for you. You let it create opportunities, experiences, and safety. Wealthy people are not enslaved by money because they see it clearly for what it is, a tool. A tool that, if used with wisdom, opens the doors of freedom. Another truth is that wealth is not only for keeping, it is also for giving. Generosity is one of the quiet secrets of the rich. They give because giving creates meaning. They give because they know that money multiplies when it circulates. When they invest in others, in communities, in causes, they create ripples of impact that return in unexpected ways. Wealth without generosity becomes empty, but wealth shared becomes legacy. Health is also part of freedom. What use is money if the body is too weak to enjoy it, or if the mind is too burdened to rest? The wealthy understand that true riches include well-being. They invest in health as much as they invest in property or stocks. They see sleep, exercise, and peace of mind as assets. Without them, financial wealth becomes hollow. Freedom means the ability to live fully, not merely to survive. Knowledge, too, is a form of wealth. Rich people invest in learning because they know that wisdom is a treasure that no one can steal. Money may come and go, but knowledge remains. It guides decisions, protects from mistakes, and opens new opportunities. In this way, education is a form of freedom. Every book read, every skill learned, every lesson gained adds to wealth that cannot be taken away. Relationships are also central to this vision of wealth. A wealthy person who has no one to share life with is not truly free. Freedom is found in laughter with friends, in the warmth of family, in the joy of helping others rise. Rich people understand that money cannot replace love, but it can create time and space to nurture it. They use wealth to strengthen connections, to build memories, to leave behind stories worth telling. When you think of wealth, do not think only of numbers. Think of choices. Think of freedom. Think of the ability to live in alignment with your values. Rich people follow this final rule. They let money serve life, not the other way around. They refuse to sacrifice everything for wealth alone. They refuse to become prisoners of endless desire. Instead, they use money to create balance, a balance where work, rest, family, learning, health, and generosity can exist together. This freedom is not reserved for the few. It is not only for the fortunate or the chosen. It begins with respect for money, with habits of discipline, with the mindset of abundance, with patience, and with the vision of freedom. Anyone, no matter where they start, can move toward it. Every dollar respected is a step. Every habit practiced is a step. Every generous act is a step. Slowly, these steps create a path. And that path leads not only to wealth, but to freedom. Imagine your life free from worry about bills, free from the fear of losing everything, free to spend your days with meaning. That image is possible. Wealth is not just for the rich. Wealth is for those who are willing to walk the path with wisdom. Money is the tool. Freedom is the goal. And freedom is the greatest wealth of all. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this journey. Remember, wealth is not only measured in numbers, but also in the way we live, think, and share with others. Every lesson you heard today is not only a step to financial wisdom, but also a step to inner growth. If you found this video meaningful, make sure to subscribe to Simple English Talk, share it with your friends, and keep practicing English through stories and reflections that inspire both your mind and your spirit. See you in the next video.